Hello everyone, Andy Raffel from eTechnics.com here, and today it's slightly different. Normally we'd look at a separate product, so we'd look at the likes of a graphics card, a motherboard, we've even looked at the Intel NUC or Intel NUC, next unit of computing, but today we're looking at another sort of computer, but not quite as small as an Intel NUC. As you can see, we have a great big hefty box here, and this is a system that's been built by PC Specialist. As you know, recently we did a competition with them to win a complete system, and then they've also sent us a system to review as well. Now, what's actually happened with this is it's kind of done in two parts. So we have the written side, which has all been done by Peter, and he has been looking at obviously the aesthetics of it, as well as the performance, the benchmarks, how far it can be overclocked, what it comes overclocked to standard, and a little bit about PC Specialists themselves. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is merely sort of talk about the actual look of the and design of the system, what parts are actually inside of the system, and the sort of service that you get from PC Specialist. So obviously when you buy a PC, you expect it to be pre-built, ready to go straight out of the box, and obviously a few other things in terms of support. So there's not much real point me rambling on too much. We might as well just get straight into it, unbox this and have a look at exactly what's inside. So, trusty knife at the ready. So it comes in this sort of big brown box, and if we open that up, we can see, looking inside, that there's quite a lot of cardboard going on. So we have this box to start with at the top, which includes a PC Specialist welcome pack. There would be a barcode sticker here, but because ours is a review PC, it clearly says that. So if we can move this big box out the way, we can have a look at exactly what comes included in this welcome pack. So it's quite nice to see a welcome pack. I don't think I've ever seen any sort of manufacturers have anything like this. It's generally, there's the PC and maybe, you know, a little guide or something. But it's nicely sort of laid out in here. So PC Specialist branding on there. You get XFX graphics card driver CD. So obviously it's going to have an XFX graphics card in there. We also have the P8Z77VLX LK2 driver installation CD and case badge sticker. Obviously when it comes to drivers, we do tell you to obviously go onto the respective manufacturer's website so you can get the latest drivers. We've got a quick install guide for XFX. Bundled software wise, we have Nero 10 Multimedia Suite Essentials installation disc. We also have a kettle lead for the UK plug. We've got a few fixtures and fittings, which I'm guessing are going to be for if you decide to upgrade this system at a later date. Maybe you want to put your own extra discs and drives and stuff in there, then you've got all the relevant screws, fixtures and fittings there, including if you want to change the fan. But to be honest, if you're going to buy a pre-built system like this, I can't really see that you're going to be you know, upgrading it yourself. That's the whole sort of reason why you bought a pre-built system, for the most part. Obviously some people just haven't got the time. We got the Zeus P8Z77VLX user guide. We've also got a welcome booklet, so interesting to have a look what's in here. So PC Specialist, please read, welcome booklet. Tells you about ball guard security. You can fill in all your details here, so full name, your order number. I'm guessing this is actually going to be filled out by PC Specialist, so they're going to put your order number in there, your date of ordering, your date of delivery. So when it comes to anything to do with warranties, you're going to have all the information there ready to go if you need to call them and you can't find your receipt or anything. They have got some forums as well, so obviously be sure to check out their forums if you are looking for a system like this. You can check that out and obviously get up-to-date information. And then it just has a nice little contents in here, so it will talk through every sort of aspect of the system. So a little introduction, how to contact them for telephone support, email support, your first steps, getting ready to activate Windows, because obviously you want to activate this under your own name, installing Windows 8, recovering Windows 8, installing Windows 7. So there's quite a lot in here, as well as obviously one of the important things, warranty and returns information. Obviously PC Specialist hope that you don't have any problems with warranty, but if you do, here's all the information for it, what it covers and so forth, and then a little bit about each sort of individual component, the software and so forth. And then yeah, if you're ready to upgrade, you can go onto their website at pcspecialist.co.uk/upgrade and find out, you know, about upgrading your system. So that's quite nice to actually see. Really sort of glad that they bundled that in there. So we've got the Corsair H40 all-in-one water cooler, CPU cooler. So here's a little guide for that. So obviously they don't give you all the boxes for everything, but instead they give you all the vital stuff, so, you know, the guides and things like that. We've got the XFX Do Not Disturb I'm Gaming door card hanger, serial number and everything on there. You can put in your username and password to obviously register for anything on XFX. A little warning bit from Corsair, that comes from the H40. Memory wise, I'm guessing there's Kingston memory in it, because here's the little installation and warranty guide that you get for Kingston memory, HyperX. Then we've got the Kingston HyperX solid state drive getting started, so straight away we know there's going to be a Kingston solid state drive. Corsair Solutions Guide, this just really talks about, it's basically marketing material for Corsair, talks about some of the other products that they've got. Corsair Warranty Guide, XFX Warranty. We also get Corsair, looks like power supply, so lots of leaflets and information for every single product that's inside this system. We've got the driver CD and install guide for the XFX graphics card, and then we've got some more Corsair stuff for the actual chassis, so the Carbide series. And that is pretty much what you get inside this welcome pack. Really, really nice to see it though. I really do like the whole PC Specialist branding on there, as well as on the front as well. Really glad that they've sort of bundled that in and decided to obviously give you all the different leaflets and everything as well. So other than that, in here we got the system itself, and there's a little sticker from PC Specialist. Do not connect your PC until you have read this. Please keep this insert in case you have to return your PC under warranty. So it just talks about the foam packaging that comes in there, obviously not to just get the system and turn it straight on, because there is foam packaging inside the system, so you just need to obviously we need to make you aware of that. So what we're going to do now is, here's the actual system itself. It's nicely packaged with sort of foam inserts, which are quite thick, so obviously that's going to keep it nice and protected when it's in when it's being transported to the customer directly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the system out of this box, and then we can have a little look around the system, the exterior, as well as all the components inside, and give you a bit more in-depth guide as to what this system is, how much it sort of goes for, and exactly what components are in there. Okay, so once you've magically made the box disappear, I've got to admit it's a huge box. It's sitting behind me and is absolutely massive. Hardly got any room to move in here, but there you go. Obviously that's going to sit in your loft for the most part, I'm guessing. Or you may decide to chuck it out. Ideally, keep it in case you do have any problems. It's always hard getting a box of that size. So, this is pretty much how it looks once you've taken it out. So like I said, there's nice thick foam on here to keep it nicely protected. There's no sort of bag or anything around this, which I maybe would have liked to have seen some sort of protective bag just to stop it from getting scratched or marked or anything like that. But the foam does a pretty good job. And this just sort of comes off quite nicely, and it's quite flexible, which is quite nice. So obviously when it's being transported, it does allow for the actual system to manoeuvre quite nicely. So we'll put that to one side, and then we've got the one at the back as well. And that basically gives us our first view of this PC Specialist system. So straight away, Corsair Carbide series chassis, black all over. Not much really to say in terms of the chassis. It's a really, really nice looking chassis, aimed at obviously the mainstream, sort of value to mainstream market. So nice and simple, no flashy lights, nothing sort of over the top or anything like that. In terms of the chassis, there's lots of room for fan expansion on the top if you decide to go down that route. Included on this one, there isn't any fans included at the top, but if you do decide to go down that route, obviously there's room for it. In terms of the front, we've got two USB 3.0 headers, microphone, headphone jack, reset and power buttons. So we have got USB 3.0 functionality, which is really nice to see. We've got a DVD rewriter in here as well. Other than that, nice and simple sort of front design, Corsair branding down the bottom, and lots of ventilation down the side. On this side of the chassis, not much really going on. Complete steel SECC panel, so not really much to talk about. In terms of the other panel, we have Another steel panel, but we do have room for some more fans. So on the top it looks like there's room for 120 and 140 mil. On the side it looks like 80, maybe yeah, 80 and 92 mil. So we've got room for fans there, and you can see all the protective material inside, the protective foam that obviously that warning notice told us about. So obviously don't turn it on without taking it out, or you're going to have a nice little fire. On the back of the chassis we get a first view of the rear I/O, and on there you can see that we've got PS2 mouse and keyboard combo port. We've got two USB 2.0 ports, HDMI with a little rubber grommet, which is really nice to see. So we've got these little rubber grommets to obviously protect it from dust and foreign elements. Nice little touch there, because I believe this board we've actually looked at and it doesn't come with them. So this is going to be an addition from PC Specialist. So we've got it over the HDMI, the DVI and the VGA. We've also got SB-diff out. We've got two USB 3.0 ports as denoted by the blue colouring. We've got two USB 2.0 ports. We've got gigabit LAN as well as your 3 audio ports for microphone, normal line out and then line in as well. XFX graphics card, as we can see with the XFX sort of cut out branding. 2 DVIs on there. We've also got HDMI and then 2 mini display ports. Ventilated panels on here as well to obviously give the best airflow, as well as all this ventilation down here. And we've also got the TX 650 watt power supply from Corsair. Really good brand of power supply, really good model of power supply that's suited for this system. You can see here there is space for a fan, and what they've actually done is, by the looks of it, they've mounted the radiator in there. So best thing I can really do is open this up so you guys can see for yourself. So we've got thumb screws on there, so really nice toolless design. We just put them to one side and take the side panel off. So as I was saying, there are spaces here for your fans if you decide to install some in there. Now this is the protective foam, which is actually nicely sort of moulded. It does sort of break apart. It's really sort of thick padding. So because obviously of how thick and how stiff it is, it does sort of sit quite nicely around the graphics card, because what a lot of other manufacturers do is they will sell you a system like this and the graphics card won't be installed. Now to me that's completely pointless. If you're going to be buying a system like this from the likes of PC Specialist, why are you going to want to have the graphics card separate? Because that means you're going to have to install it yourself. Now no offense to obviously the other manufacturers out there who make systems like this, but if you've got a customer who's buying a system, they're buying it because it's pre-built, not because it's half built and then they have to install the graphics card for themselves, because that sort of leads to the fact of they might not know how to do it. So it's really nice to see this is installed on there, and to help protect it we have this wonderful foam sort of quite tough packaging. So let's have a little look inside. So a Zeus motherboard, which we're really keen to see, because everyone trusts Zeus. They are a fantastic manufacturer and they do make some of the best motherboards on the market. So that's the P8Z77V LX LK2. We've also got XFX graphics card in here, and that's got the double dissipation heat cooler on there, and that's the 7870 graphics card in there. We've also got the Corsair H40 with the slim radiator, single 80mm fan with a rubber tubing, and goes straight onto the block on top of your CPU. Now in here is the Intel i5 Ivory Bridge 3570K. We've also got some Kingston memory. This is a HyperX Beast, 1600 megahertz I believe, without checking the specification that they sent over to us. I can't confirm that at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that it's, if I have a quick look at the label, if I can, it looks like 1600. But yeah, it goes really nice with the colour scheme, because obviously we've got the board, which is like a dark brown PCB on the motherboard, lots of black components. This is all black memory as well, and the PCB on the graphics card is black as well. TX 650 watt power supply, which is absolutely perfect for this type of system. It's not modular, it is fully cabled, but as you can see, PC Specialist have actually done a really nice job of cable management here. So they've used all the relevant cutouts over here, here, and also up here as well for the 24 pin. We've got the 8-pin CPU power connector up here, and everything looks sort of nice and tidy. Any sort of any surplus cables we can see are nicely situated down here. Okay, we've also got hard drive in here as well. And then we've got our Kingston HyperX 3K SSD just sitting snugly in here. So nice and out the way. There's a lot more room for longer graphics cards if you decide to upgrade. Obviously 7870 is going to be perfect for this type of system and who it's aimed at. But if you do decide to go for like a 7950, 7970 or even the Nvidia equivalent, you have got room to obviously put it in here. In terms of cooling, as we said, we have got this one at the back. There's room at the top for extra fans, but we also have a fan at the front as well. So you can see that we've got this fan just here, Corsair branded fan. And then this is obviously where you can expand to more hard drives. You've got room for another SSD in here, and then room for some more hard drives as well. There is also space here for a fan if you decide to exhaust down. Or obviously if you went for a different power supply, it would have room for slightly longer power supplies. And that's pretty much it really in terms of what's inside this system. As you can see, it's really nicely built, and PC Specialist, in my opinion, have done a really good job on this chassis and all the components inside. In my opinion, they've carefully thought about what type of system this is, who they're going to be aiming it at, and made the components appeal to that. Obviously, we've got the Intel Core i5 3570K in here. They could have gone for a 3770K i7. And obviously, as a customer, that's entirely up to you if you want to do it, and it's going to perform, you know, really well, even using the likes of the H40 and the other components here. But this particular system isn't aimed at people who are going to be doing photo editing. It isn't aimed at people like ourselves who are going to be, you know, rendering videos like this one that we're recording now in 1080p. You know, we're talking huge amounts of gigabytes of files. They're not going to be doing that, and that's where obviously an i7 comes in. So the i5 is the cheaper alternative, and it's still going to be fantastic at your day-to-day sort of work and usage. Your gaming, if you are looking at doing gaming, which the 7870 is going to complement it really well. The memory in here, Kingston HyperX Beast, we've done reviews on it and find that it's, you know, really good, fantastic memory. We've got a nice quick SSD for nice quick load times within Windows, you know, Windows itself as well as all the games, and then we've got a nice hard drive in there as well, which obviously you're going to be able to use for storage or installing your games on, which is what a lot of people do. They'd go for an SSD for their installation, and then they go for a hard drive for obviously, you know, the larger files, because a lot of games these days can be upwards of 20 gig in size. Then we've also got the DVD rewriter as well in there for anyone who wants to obviously burn their own data, their own movies and that sort of thing. Overall, I'm really sort of happy with the components that they've chosen. Really good, solid brands as well. So with the Corsair chassis, the Corsair power supply, XFX for the graphics card, Corsair on the H40, a Zeus motherboard, Kingston HyperX Beast memory, HyperX 3K SSD. Just really overall a nice package, and all I can really say is if you are interested in something like this, check out PC Specialist's website, because you can actually customise systems to sort of, you know, the very last need that you could want. So you could pick a base system like this, and then you can say, right, okay, I want to tweak the CPU, I want to add in an i7, or I want to tweak the graphics card, I want a slightly different power supply. And the guys there are really helpful as well. If you ring them up and tell them, you know, you're looking at a system like this, but you want to go for the i7 and you want to go for two 7950s or two 7970s, they're automatically going to tell you to upgrade your power supply, you know, to one that can cater more for that type of system. 650 watt is still pretty much, it's overkill for this type of system and what's inside here, but it's nice to have, you know, that little bit of extra power if you are going to be upgrading. You could easily add in another graphics card, another SSD, or, you know, another hard drive, and still stick with this TX 650 watt power supply. There's still a lot of room to manoeuvre in a system like this. So that's pretty much it. All I can say is we're not going to be looking at benchmarks ourselves or overclockability. By the way, this does come pre-overclocked to 4.4 GHz, I believe, 4.4 or 4.5. If you go onto their website, you can find out what sort of pre-overclock bundles they have got, like this one. But I'll be passing this over to Peter, who will be looking at this in more detail in terms of benchmarks and overclockability. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and comment in the description and everything just below. There's a, you know, ready for all the comments, and be sure to check out the link, which we will put in the description, to the full review on this, written review with all the performance and benchmark results, and you can decide whether this is going to be the sort of system that you'd buy. Until next time, I've been Andy Raffel from eTechnics.com. See you later.